Everyone, pursuant to the Massachusetts Open Meeting Law, any person may make an audio or video recording of this public meeting or may transmit through any medium. Attendees are therefore advised that such recordings or transmissions are being made whether perceived or unperceived by those present and are deemed acknowledged and permissible. And we are aware that this meeting is being recorded by Florida Educational Television. And I was just wondering, can everybody hear me? You're up in the back, everybody can hear me, great. Can I have a roll call of tonight's attendance, please?
Ms. O'Connell?
Here.
Ms. Branco? Here. Ms. Dion?
Here.
Mr. Oliveira? Absent. Mr. Smith?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. So we all have the approval of minutes from October 9th, the open session minutes to approve. Pretty straightforward. Does anybody have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the approval of our minutes from our last October 9th meeting? Motion to approve?
Make the motion to approve.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Financial reports, I'm happy to say that as of 11/21/19 in one Bay Coast bank account, we have $242,913.63, and in the second account, $1,509,762.77, and that includes interest. I'm also, at the last meeting, you approved my trying to identify a bookkeeping company so we could actually get the 2018 financial statements prepared. I have engaged Norman and Graham of Fall River to complete the 2018 financials, and I'm hoping that they will be completed by mid-December. So, question though for the board. I'm looking for the 2017 bank statements. Do we think the auditor might have them?
Again, everything that was passed on to us from Forward were in those files.
Okay, I can always inquire at the bank.
Otherwise, you can go back to the bank and have them reprint it for you.
So the next item, and just for the public's notice, that we needed additional signatures for the banks, and so that was circulated previously. So I want to thank the board members for completing the bank documents. And if I could get a motion and second on the regarding the who are the signatures for the bank, that will make a nice package for the bank. So they'll have a recording of who you authorize on the bank statement.
Yeah, and that we're all authorized.
Yeah.
Make that
So I'll
motion.
make that motion.
Okay, would you mind reading it into the record? It's in
Yeah.
it's in your proposed motion is in your package.
I'm gone green, so I have to,
What
I'm
page?
scrolling on that. It's so many pages that I just feel that I'm just wasting a tree
Here,
by,
Mr. Smith.
Okay.
no, I have it right here.
Oh, you do? Here you go.
The board hereby acknowledges the following agents, subject to any written limitations, and affirm that they are authorized to exercise the powers granted with respect to the bank accounts currently maintained at Bay Coast Bank. Board members under Mass General Law, Chapter 121B, Section 5, Kara O'Connell, Lori Ann Branco, Michelle Dion, Robert Smith, Joseph Oliveira, and Executive Director and ex officio Secretary under Mass General Law, Chapter 121B, Chapter 7, Maria Marasco.
I make that motion. That's my motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And at some point, just to cut in before you go to the warrant, please, I'd like to thank, I don't think we publicly thanked Joe for all of his years of service. He has resigned from the board. So thank you very much, Joe, for your years. And I know that Michelle, now that she is going to be a future city councilor, has submitted her resignation from the board to serve on city council. So Michelle, thank you very much for all your hard work and due diligence with regards to RDA. So thank you very much. And on to the warrant.
So attached in your package, we have a warrant for November the 26th, $128,500 $587.44. I just wanted to bring to the attention of the board that your auditors charged an additional $17,000 attributable to the lack of information that was available to the auditors at the time.
Does anybody have any questions on the warrant? It looks pretty straightforward.
What was the 17,000 for, the extra, that's over and above?
Additional billing
yeah.
related to out-of-scope work for the audit related to the lack of accrual basis financial reports, including historical fixed asset data. The board did not have a list of their
Remember, we didn't have any information.
real estate
Makes sense,
inventory, and
yeah.
that's what we undertook to, and now you do have a current
Yeah.
list.
So that's over and above what their initial charge was there? What was their initial charge?
10,000.
Okay.
Any questions? No. Does anybody want to make a motion to approve the warrant?
I'll make that motion to approve it.
Do we have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
And before we get to the executive director's report, can we just skip down to 5?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion that we take it out of order. I think it's something of importance that we need to deal with.
I don't think anybody has any problem going out of order here and going right to real estate transaction on Innovation Way, Freetown, Robert Mungin. So as you all know, the board,
I need a
second?
approval, a second and
Do we have a
approval
second?
of you
I'll
taking
second
it out
that.
of order.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
As you all know, the board did authorize me to sit down with all parties and all attorneys regarding the purchase of the property on Innovation Way by Robert Mungin. And we sat down for a couple hours, everybody hashed it out, the meeting went great. We had to make some changes. And as you all know, when they submitted their initial plans, you know, we questioned, is this what you were gonna build, is this what you were gonna build? And we did approve what they submitted, but now that they have actually submitted, and there's actually more green open space in a lesser footprint for future development of a restaurant down the road on that property. And so I'd like to make a motion that we accept their change in final footprint of what they are gonna build there for the retail space and gas station. And then, obviously, we all know if they are going to go ahead with the restaurant, they will have to come back in front of us for us to approve that use. The wording is in there. We're all, again, we had a conference call this afternoon with all parties and all attorneys and came to an agreement. And so I'd like to make a motion that we accept their final basic plot plan to go ahead to go into a closing. I'll sign tomorrow morning if we accept this now, and then we'll sell the property, they can break ground, and we can put their money in the bank. So,
I'll make that motion.
do I have a second?
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great. Move forward with that. The executive director's report.
I'd like to make another motion.
You're full
I'll
of
be very
motions
active
tonight,
tonight. I feel that there are certain things that we have in the packet tonight that I would need to recuse myself from because I'm going to be on the city council, and there's something in here to even send something to the city council. So with that said, I feel that we're also in a transitional period at this point with the swearing in with the new mayor, et cetera, not far away. I think it's only fair that if, you know, you have a minimum of 4 people able to vote moving forward, and again, you have to get through this transitional period, that I think I'd like to make a motion that you table 4, 6, and 7.
Would anybody like to second Michelle's motion?
Do we need a minimum of 4 to vote?
No, we need 3 to vote.
3 to vote?
Does anybody want to second Michelle's motion that there are items on here that she feels we should have the new board members involved in?
For being.
Can we ask what that, what is 4, 6, and 7? I haven't had a chance to flip through.
4 is her report, and it talks about the CD, BJA block grant,
The storefront.
the storefront,
Facades.
the facades, the Vineyard Wind, other business. I think there's one item on the store facade that I think that we should the gentleman has just been waiting for a while, is Inked Up, what's the tattoo parlor?
Up in Flames.
Flames.
Has been waiting for a number of months for approval of $684, which is their matching funds. So the delay has been in obviously the transition from the city, to the CDA, to the Redevelopment Authority. The contract that they gave to us was not right, so we revised the contract. Just in full disclosure, they have been waiting Up in Flames, $684. I would just strongly encourage the board to approve authorization of the $684. As to the rest of the funds, these are applications by small business owners in the pipeline, waiting for their matching funds under the city's storefront program. Just think that it is appropriate to acknowledge that their applications, that they have met the qualifications and that they are waiting for reimbursement.
I don't have any problem, Michelle, with tabling those items so that we can have new members and get everybody on the board, but I do agree with Maria that, that's an important thing, that storefront facade program is helping beautify businesses. So I'd like to make a motion that we approve, which we all had on the agenda. I mean, did you want to read those businesses off to us?
Well, at a minimum, Up in Flames has been waiting and their package is completed. The other, 1, 2, 3, 4, Arujo Real Estate, Pacheco Furniture, CC Nails, and Main Street Florist. Their applications are in and it's just pending final approval. So if the board is comfortable, at a minimum, I would request that you approve Up in Flames. And the other ones to table no later than December. Again, these are companies who in good faith applied. It's just the process that there aren't any issues. It's just working out the process about how the board gets reimbursement. The original contract that was written said that the board already had the money, and we don't. So it would be inappropriate for us to allocate funds that we don't have yet. So that's why I'm asking you to approve this money and to submit reimbursement for same, for whatever amounts you approve, to the Fall River Community Development Agency under the terms of our contract. And I think this is important.
So I'll make that motion that we approve to reimburse Up in Flames, the matching funds for $685. They've completed and have the final approval. It's a great program for the city, so I'm going to make that motion. If anybody wants to second that.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
So now Michelle has a motion to table the other items on the agenda until a further date so that we can have.
Is that motion to table 6 and 7?
It's yes, it's the table, the 4,
Yeah.
6, and 7.
Table for how long? And what's the reason for table?
Because she can't vote on some
There
of
are
these?
things that I have to recuse myself from anyways, and I just think that, just being in this transit, I mean, it's entirely up to you what you do and don't do.
Yeah.
That's just a thought until somebody else gets on board or you're comfortable moving forward. It's your choice.
I think we're in November now. The new administration won't come until January. The city council would have to approve any members, so I think to put the RD out of business for 3 or 4 months, I don't know if that makes sense to me at all. Is that right?
I could just bring to your attention
Yeah.
the things that I would very much appreciate action by this board, the next board. This is just the ability for the Redevelopment Authority to conduct its business. We have a pending real estate brokerage and consulting RFP. We received 4 responses. I have evaluated them all. It goes to the next stage of having to review the price proposals. We had the city issue the RFP under Chapter 30B. So for us to wait on this brokerage RFP, I don't think would be in the best interest of the board, considering the number of inquiries we're having on the 95 developable acres out on Innovation Way. So at a minimum, I'm happy to, if you want to consider, I'm happy to complete the review with the price proposal and then to submit to you final recommendations at the December meeting, or I would ask one of the board members to participate with me on the final review of the price of these proposals, again, to present to the board in December.
I'll sit with you and go over the real estate brokerage and consulting RFPs. I think that a board member, unless Lori or Bob want to take the time.
What about us?
Yeah, I think
You're fine.
Interesting
Yeah, I
to,
think you're fine.
so I have no problem
Okay, great.
meeting with you one day, going over that, and then making a recommendation to the board after we see what each company has to offer.
I can.
So, just so we know, and we don't have a second for Michelle's motion to table, so if there are topics that come up as we go through this,
I'll just reuse
Well-
myself.
or you can,
Or we
we
can
can
table
take it
at that point.
topic by
Mhm.
topic. So request for services, your report, you might as well keep going down on to B. So Maria, you will give me a call, we'll set up a time one day where we can meet, go over these RFPs.
Yeah, and meet with the individual proposers, or at least get them on a conference call to
Okay.
answer our questions. I just want to bring to the attention of the board that I've had the opportunity to go through our statute. It's something for you to consider, nothing for a decision tonight if that's the board's preference, but under Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 121B, Section 7, there is language that upon request, the Redevelopment Authority can ask the city to support it with its services. That is in addition to that's actually not in addition, but that is something that is allowed by statute, and I'm just suggesting as a matter of how redevelopment authorities act, you might want to make a formal proposal to the city for the request for services. In addition, as you know, the Redevelopment Authority also has an intermunicipal agreement with the city for specific items, and I'm just wanted to bring to the attention of the public that there's a statutory requirement, and then this board actually additionally created an agreement that I would ask this board respectfully to review both the statute and the municipal agreement again, and that we can bring it up perhaps at the next meeting with any questions or
And we all have that in the packet, so we
Yeah.
can review that at home and
Yeah.
then move forward with that. Thank you.
So the other item, just the economic development block grant status. Once again, we are in the transition of determining how to process these things like storefront applications, how to seek reimbursement. So I'd be asking a board member if they would be willing to participate with me with the city, because you were here when you made that agreement with the CDBG block grant. And I'm playing catch up, and I obviously there's no need to do that because you were involved in that long before I came. So I would ask a board member if they would be able to sit with me and reach out to the city and make sure that we have this program in place for the businesses that we're serving.
Does any board member want to meet with her? And I believe you'd be meeting with Mike Dion.
Absolutely, yeah.
You'd be best for.
Yeah, it's not a motion, it's a request.
Thanks. Okay, that'll be me again. I will, no, I can sit with, I talked to Mike today, he answered some questions for me. I have no problem sitting with you and Mike to iron out this.
I'm here to report that everything is actually working exceptionally well, that the board, on behalf of administering the CDBG block grant for the city, did complete its first quarter report, and we reported that there was a total of 1,265 jobs either created or retained in the city of Fall River during the first quarter. And that's with a number of businesses who have not yet reported. I would like to personally thank Mero Manufacturing, Wild Seafood, Raw Seafood for, and also the Job Lot for submitting these reports and providing additional information as requested. So I think the news here for the city of Fall River is fantastic. I mean, we're playing a little catch-up with reporting, but we have complied. And we are doing our best to be working with all of our cities, our businesses, our city businesses, to try to make sure that those jobs are continued to be created. On one note, as you know, I wear two hats. One is the director, executive director for this Redevelopment Authority, and also economic director for the city. So as such, the Redevelopment Authority processes any new business incentives. And just want to let you know that the TIF board met, and we've recruited a company out of Rhode Island, Sexzeta, which is a cyberspace security company. They will be creating 93 full-time permanent jobs in the city of Fall River, and they will be moving here hopefully in the beginning of the new year. Want to thank the members of the TIF board, want to thank actually the company, want to thank Alan Macklumber, who referred the company to us. So that's very exciting. I understand that we have a very short timeline today, and I will be happy to tell you all the fabulous news. The mayor-elect did ask for a summary of what we have been doing on behalf of the city. I provided to him, and I have met with him a couple of times, a lengthy summary of what we've been able to do. And met today, very exciting. A shout out to Raw Seafoods, who's seen me on TV. Today, Raw Seafoods won the Gold Award, the Economic Impact Awards for Mass Econ. We nominated them, and we're very pleased that they represented the city of Fall River with flying colors. So I think this board actually, if the chair would like, to send them a congratulatory letter noting their gold medal award.
Love that, thank you, I think that's wonderful. And those 93 full-time jobs, that's great.
Yeah. And then one last thing, and then we can table all the rest, is that I am working on a Fall River resource guide. It's in your packet. It's a comprehensive guide for small business and all business resources that will be made available as soon as I can get it printed.
Great, thank you very much. So that brings us to memorandum of agreement for Redevelopment Authority and Vineyard Wind. I did read that on the Herald News on the car ride in.
Just gonna say 7 minutes before we got here.
7 minutes before we got here, that we, as we all know, we did agree to see if it is feasible to temporarily use the city pier for any type of offshore wind, so the cables on and off, and in turn, we would work together to bring the whole city pier up to compliance with EPA, maybe have a harbor master office put in, the docks installed, and so all we did was enter in to see if that's feasible, which we all know, we all voted to see if that is potentially anything we would want to do and if it would be feasible for us to do. So they did have a press release and announced that today. New Bedford beat us by a day, though. I think New Bedford announced their press release yesterday for their offshore wind endeavors as well. So thank you for everybody's hard work on that. Do we have any new business? Anybody have any new business that they would like to talk about? I take that no. So that brings us to our proposed executive session. Which that's like. So we do intend to convene into executive session for the following purposes, and we will not reconvene in open session afterward. To review and or approve executive session minutes of our October 9th, 2019 meeting pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, 21A7 and 22, to discuss strategy with respect to the additional and ongoing litigation pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 38, 21A3, Ken Fiola et al. Versus the Fall River Redevelopment Authority. And that I do declare that the open meeting will have a detrimental effect on the bargaining or litigating position of the public body. The next item is to discuss real estate negotiations for properties along an Innovation Way, Fall River, pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 38, 21A6, term sheet offer of a prospective buyer, and that may also have a detrimental effect on the negotiating position of the public body. And to discuss real estate transactions, negotiations for 191 Commerce Drive, Fall River, pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 38, 21A6, that may also have a detrimental effect on the negotiating position of the public body. So I ask for a roll call vote, go into executive session for the above stated reasons, and we will not resume to open meeting at the conclusion of open session except to adjourn. So roll call vote, please.
Ms. O'Connell?
Yes.
Ms. Branco?
Yes.
Ms. Dion?
Yes.
Mr. Olivera is absent, and Mr. Smith?
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you.
you're welcome.